Time to react to something outrageous. She slept with 1,000 men in 12 hours. By Amala Ekpunobi, I would say. I would say. I'm very sorry, Mehdi. I just don't know how to pronounce that. I am disgusted that that is a thing, and it's gonna get more outrageous the more we think about it. Like, you have to have certain mental issues to to behave like this. You have to have certain mental issues. You have to. There's no explanation about this. Let's just get into it and see what this is really about. I'm curious. I think it's about the other chick that Lily Phillips is friends with. Well, we'll see.
Guys, we're back again.
The chick that said that she likes to sleep with barely legal teenage boys, which I find disgusting. I find that disgusting, and I find it like, these men should have their first time with at least with somebody they love. Of course, I would prefer these men to wait until marriage, but obviously not everybody will do that. But I'm still repulsed by the idea that you don't do your first time with somebody you love.
In way too soon. You'll remember on this channel we covered the girl Lily Phillips. She slept with 101 men in 24 hours. Well, now we're back and we're talking about Bonnie Blue because she claims she slept with 1,057 men in 12 hours.
1,057 men in 12 hours. She's alive? By the way, Lily Phillips wants to do the backdoor challenge. If you didn't know, I think about 20, between 12 and 20% of men that are gay, that are receiving, cannot hold their shit. And I mean that in the most literal possible.
I kid you not. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Yes, it's been an insane time, just all around, all the time. The world is crazy. We are in clown world, and we're gonna move away from the typical news we've been covering lately and talk about Bonnie Blue. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Bonnie Blue, she's an OnlyFans creator, and she's rose to prominence in displaying her sexuality for all to see on the internet. She is known for liking to sleep with barely legal men, as she refers to them. She will go around to different colleges, unis, as she calls them in the UK, and sleep with men who have—
This is disgusting. Uni students bonk me and let me film it. That is disgusting. That is... I will bonk her. Yeah, I will actually bonk her. With a baseball bat. 1,000 boys, lady, imagine being her BF. Dude, this is pretty much free use. 1,000 men, that's Taylor Swift numbers. That is wildly disgusting. I think I'm on her radar. Yes, you are, because you're barely legal now.
Just turned 18, and that's her claim to fame, or I guess being infamous, is sleeping with these young men, filming it for OnlyFans content, and posting it online. Now, we covered recently Lily Phillips, who is a friend of Bonnie Blue's, apparently, who slept with 101 men in 24 hours, and this was a huge deal. She rented out an Airbnb and allowed her OnlyFans subscribers to line up and—
Yeah, the guy that rented the Airbnb to her was disgusted. She herself, you cannot tell me that this wasn't a traumatizing experience, because consider this. She told us in her interview that between 15 and 30 men, she zoned out. She was not even mentally there. That was a response to protecting your mind 100%. That sounds like when a woman gets raped. I could see how that response, disassociation, I could see that. It, like guys who wait until teens turn 18 to sexualize them. Yeah, but here it's not weird because, you know, it's hard and like it's not predatory at all because, you know, men, they want this and stuff. Jesus Christ, I hate this. I hate people like this. This is predatory.
And some of these men were bringing friends, family members, and they got to sleep with her for an allotted 5 minutes of time, which she couldn't stick to if she wanted to fit in 100 men in one day, and I mean that pun intended. Oh, God. And now we move on to Bonnie Blue. Now, she's posted this video online documenting the fact that she has indeed slept with over 1,000 men in 12 hours. Let's hear it from her.
This is what my face looks like after taking 1,000 men less than 12 hours ago. I told you girls, taking fluids for moisturizer was good for your skin.
The big 1,000 was completely done. So it started off, I'll give you a bit of an overview.
So wait, shouldn't Lily do it in 6 or less than 12 hours? Because Lily wanted to do it in 24 hours. Wouldn't Lily need to do it in less than 12 now? That is so disgusting. I hate these people. I dislike this woman with a passion. Just get some fucking holy water and just bathe her in it. It's probably gonna react like acid. Just gonna like completely evaporate. But yeah, the guy who bought her girlfriend to be with Lily. Ugh! So I hate cheaters. I don't care if it's an open relationship. That's cheating to me. I don't care. I don't give a rat's ass about that. That's disgusting.
After to start with, it was just like the room was absolutely full. Then we did groups of 5, like one after the other of 5s. I wanted to give people more time, so then it went down to like one-on-ones, didn't it? So like one person would watch whilst I was with somebody, and then it would literally just be like a rotating circle like that.
Oh, how generous of her. She wanted to give people more time and allow things to get spread out a little bit.
She wrote the carousel. She rode the carousel. She rode the carousel. Isn't that great?
As she slept with 1,000 men in a single day. Guys, this is the culture that we're living in, where the threshold for people's interests just gets higher and higher and higher and higher, and you have to do more. And we all thought it was so crazy that Lily Phillips slept with 101 men in a single day. But now Bonnie has 10 times that, more than 10 times that, in not even 24 hours, in 12 hours. And I think this is what the future of content and sex work is going to look like online, particularly for these women who are willing to go to extremes. That threshold that you have.
Let's not call this sex work. Let's not call this sex work. This is 100% prostitution. Ew. Yeah, I was with her in front of her girlfriend. She was the prize on a podcast or something. Ugh, ew. A man could never do that. Yeah, a man could never. A man could never do that. There is not enough regenerative power in any man's pee-pee to make that work without help.
Have to meet in order to get eyes and in order to secure your bag and get more people interested in you is just going to get crazier and crazier. And she knows what she's doing from a marketing perspective. She knows how to be salacious. She knows how to get people's eyes on her, whether or not it's men who want to see her in this way and want to be.
Though I have to say, it's hypocritical. It's also funny how we also only shame her, but we also have to shame the we should also shame the men that thought that this was a good idea in doing this. And if anybody of them gets an STD, I don't care. If you die, you fucking die, you moron. Or like anything bad. That was more than a carousel. That was a Ferris wheel on meth. As wild.
Be with her in this way, or people who are criticizing her for the way that she's engaging with the world and the promiscuity that she is just letting fly all over the place in so many different ways. And of course, in this video, she's kind of giving advice to other women saying this is good for you. She just, of course, jokingly in a sort of tongue-in-cheek way said that it's good for your skin to engage with men in this way. And of course it's not. This is not good for you mentally. It's not good for you physically. And I think this is all going to catch up to her, if it hasn't already, in due time, and she will experience whatever lies on the other end of this in terms of the scarring of her mind and body from having given herself to 1,000 men, 1,057 men. Let me be clear. And before we move on to another video that she's posted, a sort of post-game interview, if you will.
Post-game interview. Like where's a video game? Who is the greatest whore? She's playing a game called Let's Spread STDs to as many people as we can. Gotta catch them all, more like that. Gogeta versus Vegeta, who wins? I would say simply based on that Vegeta can defuse when using too much power, while Gogeta won't. I would say Gogeta currently. The way the Potara earrings work right now, at least. Some people are just shaming her because they don't know the guys who were waiting there in line to be with her. She's the face of the whole thing, isn't she? Yeah, that is true. That is true. Still disgusting though. It is absolutely disgusting.
That actually exists online right now. It's important to note, as this article reads out of the Daily Mail, that she has actually beaten another record. So I guess the previous record for sleeping with this many men in a single day was held by another actress who did 919 men in 24 hours in 2004, Lisa Sparks. So around 11 years later, Bonnie...
That was... Goddamn. There's another one. There's another one who did that. So she broke a new record with this one. Like, what would be the next thing? Like, more in 12 hours? Or more in general? Like, double the amount in 24 hours? Like, where does this end? 21 years. Yeah. Just imagine, okay? Just imagine. The calculation is bad, yeah. The fact that we can just look at, like, all the corn star actresses, right? And, like, realize more and more of them, there have been more and more cases over the years of women deleting themselves because they have been part of this industry. Like, let's say you don't want to do this anymore. Wait, what? Bonnie, okay, let me read that actually. An OnlyFans star says she has the world record. What is this weird? Wait, do I read that really? All the barely legal, barely breathing, and the husbands she says were involved. Blue has previously faced a backlash on social media by claiming to sleep with barely legal 18-year-olds and saying men should cheat on their wives. You know what I think of cheaters and how violent I am towards cheaters. You know that at this point. Yeah. If those 2 guys per minute Lily could beat the record easily by a margin. Yeah. Problem was that she zoned out after like 30. Like she didn't even get technically she didn't even get like the 100 dudes done because a lot of them didn't even finish. Excuse my stupidity, does this imply each man had an orgasm as well? If so, damn. Those men didn't last long. Apparently they didn't. She said it in her interview, at least in Lily. She said that the men that she did it with, a lot of them did not finish.
Blue has come through and bedded 1,057 men in 12 hours. If you remember, Lily Phillips was planning on doing this with 1,000 men in a single day. Her plan was for February. I guess 25-year-old Bonnie Blue was like, you know what? I need to get ahead of the curve on that one. I need to cut.
This bitch is 2 years older than me. 2 years older than me. Why does she look like 30?
Off my betting bestie on that one and get to 1,000 men before she does. And it must be noted that there were 1,000 men willing to do this. 1,000 men got in line, waited for a singular 25-year-old OnlyFans creator to sleep with them for whatever amount of time they could get in. These men were willing to be in a room with 4 other men to be with this woman. They were willing to sit behind another man and watch just...
Wait, they're all cucks? They're all cucks? Every single one of them is a cuck? That is wild. Now that I look at this from this view, Lily was training, and then her friend backstabbed her. True. If you look at it like that, that is true. She was in a training arc, like some shonen hero, or like, I don't know. That is wild. That is wild.
To get a single minute with Bonnie Blue. And if that does not show a pathetic amount of desperation, I don't know what does. And you know what? I want to know who these men are. I'm not saying dox them or, you know, reveal their identities. I'm sure they're out there running around right now doing whatever it is this type of person does. But my goodness, if I was a girl in the UK on the dating scene right now and I was running into any of these men, I would sure as hell want to know exactly who they are. Now, as I said, Bonnie Blue did a little post-game interview.
1,000 men's inside of you today.
Yeah.
What hurts more, your mouth or your...
Probably done that a little bit. I don't need a wheelchair. Like, I am fine. Just feels like I've had a heavy day in the bedroom, which is exactly what I've had. I think if it had continued how it did for the first sort of 3-4 hours, I would have struggled.
Let's get a round of applause in the room, people.
Applause? They need to... Where are your dads? Where are their dads? If your dad saw this, if your dad saw this, would they be proud of you? Like I said it before, if I do something, I'm always looking at it like from the perspective, can I tell this a child? And would that child be proud of me? If I told, or could I tell this my own child, and would that child be proud? My own child be proud of me? If the answer is no, I don't do it. Wait, I didn't know this before. Aren't they both British? Yeah, they're British. And I think for Bonnie, she was actually banned from going to Australia. Like, I'm not kidding. They banned her. Like, they don't want that kind of degeneracy. The last guy waiting for 12 hours for that. Yeah, and like 2 minutes. Imagine waiting 12 hours for like 2 minutes. Or like 3 minutes or 4 minutes. I don't know how long Buddy lasted.
There we go.
And there's the exact problem. That you can engage in behavior like this and get a round of applause for doing exactly that. She says she's fine. I'm not taking her at her word on that one. I think what's happening here with a lot of these women is that the positive reinforcement that they get from this behavior is maybe overwhelming the clear negative aspects of engaging with men in this way and engaging with sexuality in this way, and the positive reinforcement that they get in the validation from men, the sexual attention from men, the attention from the world, both negative and positive, and of course the millions of dollars that they can receive for doing these acts. It cushions the negativity that is trying to come through to you and let you know, hey, you're doing something really, really bad for your mind and your body. And eventually they're going to receive so much validation, so much attention, so much money that hopefully they...
The thing is, like, the money aspect is always funny. We see it all these celebrities, for example. They have a lot of money. Yet a few of them still choose to end their life. Even though they have everything. Amal looks more traumatized than Blue. Yeah, I've heard some shakiness in her voice, like she was about to cry here and there. It could be that is more, like, that is so, like, shocking and gross for her that she, like, that this is too much. The thing is, like, the more I see these things, like, the more I see, like, the sleeping with 1,000 dudes, sleeping with 100 men, the more harsher I get on my standard on waiting until finding a partner that waits until marriage. The harsher it actually gets. Because, you know, here and there, I am like, maybe that's a bit harsh. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe, you know, if somebody genuinely loves me, maybe I should just, mm, like, break it and not do it. But then I see these videos and I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. If I die single, I'll die single. I don't care.
Hit that moment of, this is no longer doing anything for me, and you hope it's not, you know, too late on their endeavors to get with as many men as possible. You hope the damage done is something that they can work through, and I don't know what's needed for that. Therapy therapy of some sort, and advice of some kind, and a support system of some kind for this sort of behavior. But instead it's being reinforced by those positive reinforcements that I just mentioned, and by a world that is telling her that this is okay, that this is liberating, that this is empowering. But this is just how currency works these days. It's not just money. It's attention, it's validation, it's wanting to be wanted. And I think having 1,000 men show up for you in a single day, even to just utilize you and exploit you in this way, is validating for people of certain personalities with certain personality characteristics. And I can't imagine that there's not something that happened in this girl's development that maybe set her on the wrong track towards seeking out this validation and seeking money in this way. I feel the same way about Lily Phillips. We saw after Lily Phillips slept with 101 men, she was in tears.
Of course she was in tears. Don't you like, it makes sense. You, like I said, if your mind pretty much goes blank after this or during this, that is a clear sign that your brain actively tries to protect you. Again, I'm 100% believing, like, this is what rape victims said they did. They disassociate. When we look at that's actually multiple studies. For example, a lot of men are capable of like a pseudo disassociation from themselves. A lot of men are capable of that because we usually go through a lot more trauma. That is a trauma response. That has to be a trauma response. I don't think they can work through it. They are too far gone. Possibly, yeah. The one OnlyFans woman, was it? Yeah, Nala, who was an OnlyFans chick as well. She turned to Christ, deleted her OnlyFans, and is now actively advocating against this stuff. Maybe this one is too far gone, but there is a way to return. If they wanted, they could have stopped after, I don't know, 50. That's a lot. Everything for that money, huh? Yeah, it's sad. It is very sad.
She could not handle the situation. Now, she said the reason for her tears was not being able to show up for these men in the way that she wanted to, which again speaks to that reinforcement of male validation that these women are seeking. But Bonnie seems in good spirits. I have a feeling it's a protective shell, but I digress. Who am I to...
Yeah, redemption arc. Okay. Okay. The thing is that I believe that the relationship between their fathers is probably very problematic. I think that they probably, as a child, did not get the proper male role model in their life. Because I know that women are watching me, I know that. If you ever end up as a single mother, please, for the love of God, please, search for a male role model. I don't care if it's your brother, your grandfather, your own father, a friend. Please look for a male role model. Children that grow up without a male role model have a much harder life. Please. This is very much a proof of it. Please. We have the data, we have the stats on this.
To say what this woman is thinking and feeling or what she's going to think and feel. Only time will tell, and time is going to put us in the situation where way more women are going to have to deal with whatever consequences lie on the other end of this decision, because our society is just pushing this forward, allowing it to happen. And
I can tell you what happens, especially if this is connected with completely different content. I knew a few VTuber girls. Three who were just lewd tubers, which they are almost sexual and suggestive, and one who actually had an OnlyFans. They are now not longer making content, or they took on a different persona. Nobody knows who they are. I obviously do, but I know 4 girls. The one with the OnlyFans, after stopping her OnlyFans, she was harassed by her... Like, all of them were harassed by their own viewers. But she was harassed so much that she completely quit content creation in general. I don't know where she is. I don't know how she's doing. That's how bad it is. The men that watch this, the men that throw money at you, those are not men you want to have around you. Or any closer contact with.
And we're putting eyes on it. I guess we're putting eyes on it now, but hopefully to reflect and say this is not the way to move forward. And if you are a young woman, I believe Lily Phillips is around 23, Bonnie Blue is 25. If you are a young woman in the prime of your life, when really any time can be the prime of your life, given the mindset, but in this particular time where people are reinforcing this idea that this is your prime, this is your peak of attraction and energy and all these different things, please don't waste it on this. I know it might not feel like a waste because you're gonna make a lot of money. Maybe. The average OnlyFans creator makes like $150 a month. But if you think you're gonna...
Please don't waste this. You know, please don't waste this. You know, get a good career, find a good man, build something for the future, have some morals, have some values, find a purpose and pass it on to the future. I think that is a much better way than doing this. And that does not only go for the women that think about doing this. This also goes for the men that think about doing this. There is a better path. She regrets, big example, Mia Khalifa. She regrets regrets her decision at all. Yeah, Riley Reid also said that she regrets it. If you know who that is. There have been a couple of like corn people have come out, like even men have come out. Nah, I'm good. They don't want to be part of this anymore. Yeah, it's interesting.
Be these top 1%ers, if you think you're gonna be the ones to be the Bonnie Blues and Lily Phillips, I promise you it is not worth it. And where they're showing up and saying, oh, I'm making so much money and I'm just being a girl, I'm just doing girl things and I'm empowered, I'm just feeling my sexuality. There is hurt, pain, trauma, whatever you want to call it, whatever pop psychology term you want to throw out there, very deeply set within these women. I mean, we may or may not see that come through. They may or may not be honest about the fact that that's what they're experiencing, but this is not normal behavior. It is the behavior of a sick society for both the men and the women involved in this. And those are my thoughts, guys. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below on this one. And what's next? Am I gonna have to make another video where I say a woman slept with
That's pretty much the end of the video. You can tell that she is certainly emotionally turmoiled by seeing this. You can tell that this creator, this woman, is struggling with, like, you know, her voice is shaky. And I am also very much grossed out and, like, yeah, it is the result of a sick and twisted society. The only thing we can do is make it better for our children and not let our children go that path, but it's probably going to be worse than this. I think it's actually going to be worse than this. It's going to get worse. Because now this stunt has been pulled, there will be more outrageous things happening. That's just how it is. How did you know my future plans? Because let's be honest, that's what I think that's what most people want, right? I think truly at the core that's what most people want. Like living comfortably and having somebody on their side, and like just living a life that is full of love and you know, I think that's what most people want. Maybe I'm also just projecting, who knows? She cares, and the fact she has to research all this. Yeah, I think maybe tears have been shed when researching all of this.